coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze, and birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Hey there, Veteran Nation fans. I am talking to you today because I have teamed up with a company that's dedicated to supporting veterans. What they do is they help you gather all the medical evidence that you're going to need to submit a VA disability claim. Now, it's all that is designed to help you get the benefits that you have earned. Right now, more than 17 million veterans don't have their full benefits. And if that sounds something familiar either for yourself or a family member, now is the time to act. With this company, what they offer is free consultations with the medical team so they can figure out how they can best help you. And what they provide is board-certified doctors with experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical documentation for both physical and mental conditions, and the services that they provide include nexus letters, telehealth evaluations, DBQs, TDIU, aid and attendance, and so much more. What you're going to do is you're going to click the link that's in the description of this video and sign up for a free consultation. Make sure you do me a favor, share this, and also tag a veteran. Let's help more people get every single thing that they have earned.
Hey, welcome, Veteran Nation fans. I hope you guys are having a great... Why is that? Interesting.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Okay, that one I heard. I wasn't hearing things in my thing. So today's going to be a very serious episode, as you guys can tell by the title. I am no longer a What the Hell supporter, and I know doing this stream, I'm going to get a lot of hate. I'm going to get a lot of hate. A lot of people are going to attack me, and I don't care. I want to make that very clear. I don't care. If I lose support, if I lose subscribers, I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, I have to look in the mirror and like the person that is looking back at me. And that means, did we lose? Oh, wait, no, we didn't. Okay. That means I have to I have to be okay with the morals and ethics of myself. And there there have been these times, these crossroads in my life where you get to a point where you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. And I've made a decision. And my decision is I'm not going to be a part of the problem. I don't mean any ill will uh, towards Jeremy and George. I think they're great people. I support them in what they're doing with court. I think they're holding people accountable. However, the community that has rallied around them has gone bad. It has gone bad, and it's the thing is it's rotten to the core. And just like any other cancer, the only way a cancer will infect and infect and infect and just keep spreading and growing. And I'm cutting myself out. I am not going to be a part of the negativity. Good morning, Spade. Good morning, veteran firefighter. Boss, Hellhound, Brett. Who else? That's who I'm seeing here. And I understand that some of those watching, you guys are not going to support me anymore. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I am seeing patterns, unhealthy patterns. And the military taught me to recognize pattern. We call it combat hunter. And it's, you ever hear people talk about their spidey sense or I just had a feeling? You have to understand how your brain works. Your brain likes things to be organized. It likes things to be in a way that can be easily understood. So it will take information when there's a gap, it's going to fill it in. And you're going to think that you see things or don't see things that are going to affect you. Thank you, Ginger Gem. Good to see you here. And, you know, Combat Hunter, they teach you pattern recognition. Like when you're driving down a road and, you know IEDs are in certain things, you then have to get your mindset to spotting those things or recognizing the other patterns that, oh, hey, suddenly in the busy town square, there's less people. Why is that? This is called the Combat Hunter mindset. And I'm seeing patterns that deeply, deeply disturb me. So yesterday, Georgie was attacked for being a anti what the hills. Why? Because she dared to go into Lisa's stream and be cordial to people and even apologize to Lisa. No one knows what she apologized for. That's between Lisa and Georgie, and they've had, to my understanding, they've had some back and forth. I don't know whether it was in DMs or it was in another chat, but I do know they've had some back and forth. But, you know, even I don't fully know about those conversations. It's really none of my business. But a lot of people then immediately started attacking Georgie. It's ridiculous. I was doing what I normally do, which was making light of it. And you will see that there are people who they have the us versus them mindset, which I talked about yesterday. And they can't accept that someone might not see everything eye to eye as they do. And they immediately go on the attack. And yesterday, it wasn't just Georgie attacked, it was her daughter. And I have been seeing these patterns from the What the Hales community and the What the Hales content creators. Now, I'm not talking about Jeremy and George specifically. I'm not talking about Megan. I'm not talking about Tug. Like, it's more the people who surround them. And I mean, there's some smaller creators, but there's definitely their mods, definitely their bigger supporters. There are some content creators, you know, DJ Radis, Spawn Trooper, people like that. We've talked ad nauseum about all those people, but it's gotten to the point where it's not. What's the word I'm trying to say here? It's no longer the exception; it is the norm. And I've had DMs with people who tell me not to talk about it, ignore it, it'll go away. I'm not talking about it. I'm just going to ignore it. It'll go away. People, I'm here to tell you it's not going away. I never thought it would. I will ignore things to a certain extent. You guys have seen that. People have bashed me for months. I'll look the other way. But at a certain point, they want attention, and they're not going to stop until they get it. And the way I've always done things is, okay, now you have my attention, and you're not going to get the attention that you want. And that has been my mindset on so many things. The Lees tried it with me. Bone Crusher had tried it with me. Stupid Dave. They were all smart enough to leave. Again, I use my OODA loop. That is my decision making matrix. Orient, observe, decide, act. And the faster you can get that OODA loop going, the better. And I I have seen so much negativity. And a lot of it I've brought, there's some of it that I've not brought to this show. Like, I've seen it in the backgrounds. I've talked to other creators. I've talked to other supporters about it. And there's this prevailing thing that, no, you shouldn't talk about it. But these same people who say, I shouldn't talk about these bad things that I see in the What the Hales community, who are hyper focused on everything the Fleas do, on everything Paint Chips does, on everything Bubbles does, to an unhealthy extent. An unhealthy extent. You want to talk about, Volpe writes an article and it's complete lies, and or Paint Chips submits a ridiculous motion. That's fine. But like yesterday, they were talking about on Megan and Tug. They were talking about Fleesa taking in the neighbor and how the guy across the way was blasting her voicemails, and they were saying it's not harassment. Ladies and gentlemen, that is harassment. If you are doing something to annoy someone, 90% of the state, that's harassment, especially if you're doing it publicly. Do you have a right to free speech? Yes, you do. But you don't have a right to play things excessively loud. And the fact that the guy is an abuser. I don't doubt that for one bit. And to Fleesa, I would say, good on you for fighting against an abuser. I am a survivor of, I don't like the term survivor, but it's the one that people use. I am the survivor of domestic abuse. I literally, you guys have seen the one video. There's other videos, there's other pictures. But me, being a military man, I took a very stoic outlook on it. That I cannot control other people. I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna stand like a rock. That's how I survived that situation. Okay. Sorry, guys. But also with that, I have to be principled. and ethical and follow my morals. There's no time that I see where supporting a domestic abuser is in my best interest or anyone else's best interest. And I'm not going to do it. Content creators. We have seen content creators who know full well that people within their inner circle are doing bad things and just ignore it. We've seen it with Coop's mod, actually his mods, Gary, Big Dirt. What Big Dirt has said to people and threatened publicly is disgusting. He's still one of Coop's mods. Just Jay has Miyagi as a mod. Miyagi has done videos about me. Absolute videos about me. Has straight up attacked me. I told Just Jay I was gonna do this yesterday. I was gonna do this stream. I didn't know what it would look like then. But I told him, Miyagi's done videos. She took action against me yesterday. I have to respond. I have to respond. I can't not have this platform and not respond. So this is my response. Thank you, Bonnie. I am not going to apologize for the HG puppet thing. No, I don't know. And I'll tell you my reason. Here's why I did the Harley Grace puppet and still might do it. I do not support John Lynette. They have used that child. They are using that child. And I think that is wrong. And again, I have to be principled. I have to follow my morals. So, since they've used the child to make money, I can use a puppet. At no time did I use the child's image. The only time I ever used the child's image was to try to get a petition to save the child. I don't regret that one bit. I'm very proud of that. So I'm not going to apologize for that. Not at all. What I will apologize for is any time where I saw bad behavior on the what the hell side and did not publicly say it. I'm talking about it now only because I believe we have crossed the line. We have crossed the Rubicon, as they say. And we are in a point where I don't think there's a going back. And I am not going to be a part of the cancer. I am not going to be a part of it. I'm not. People will say I'm doing this for views. I'm probably going to lose subscribers. I'm probably going to lose views. I don't care. I don't care. I'll probably lose money on this. I don't care. This is not the be-all, end-all for me. Well, Spade, at the end of the day, I'm still, when I raised my hand to this country to become a Marine and to become an officer, there was no expiration date on that. And guess what? Sometimes the military gets corrupted. I have seen it for myself. And I'm telling you right now, the what the hell's community is corrupted. Megan and Tug talking about a domestic abuser and saying that what he was doing wasn't harassment, I don't agree with that. The people who have their mods attack others and take actions against others, and you guys have seen it with Big Dirt, and I'll show you what Miyagi and what happened to me yesterday. What happened to me was not a big deal. I actually was on the fence about addressing it. I had actually talked with Georgie about it, and this was before Georgie was attacked. But after Georgie was attacked, I was like, this is out of control. And, as a military guy, I have to recognize patterns. So if there is mods for these content creators out there doing this stuff, it's because the creator is okay with it. 100% it is. Because they're not taking any action. And guess what? Silence is consent. And I did a post yesterday, a couple of them, where I tagged a lot of the big creators. There were more I could have tagged. But yeah, we need to rise up. And I'm sorry if they don't, I'm sorry. I'm not going to work with them. I can't support them. I've got to do what's right. Jeremy, George, John, Lynette, I've got to do what's right. And I'm going to do that. I prayed on this. So, I'm going to call a spade a spade. No pun intended, spade. Who's here? And thank you for your comments, by the way. Heroes Chris, welcome. And Bonnie, welcome. I'm just looking to see if there's anyone else. I think I got everyone. But yeah, like attacking Georgie's daughter, her teenage daughter, that is indefensible. And the thing is, if they're gonna say, well, I don't agree with Skipper, guess what? That's still an attack on Georgie's daughter because you're okaying the behavior. They need to speak up and say that behavior is not okay. And if me, the way I would do it is, and I'll straight up say this: if I see anyone of my community, any of my followers, any of my mods, if I see you attacking someone's daughter, it doesn't matter. You're gone. I'm not gonna have anything to do with you. Hey, Mismatch, good to see you. And that's because, yeah, is there guilt by association? Yes, there is, because you show me the people that you surround yourself with, and I'll show you. My grandma used to say that all the time. Show me your friends, and I'll show you. And I've been talking about toxic portions of the What the Hell's community. DJ Radis, Am Carson, the Unstoppable Warriors. I'm telling you, like, they have created a cancer and have been doing bad things, and now it's to the point where it's at the creator level, because I'm seeing multiple mods of different creators doing stuff, and then their creators saying, well, that's not me. I don't even know about that. Yeah, you do, because I'm bringing it to you. And you are refusing to do anything on it. I'm not saying you have to you gotta like bang the drum or anything, but be like, okay, well, I'm gonna take some action. But I'm seeing excuses, and when you play both sides, or when you play like you don't know, you are taking a side, and I'm now taking a side, and there are people who are gonna hate me for it. I don't care. If you don't like me now because I'm saying I'm not a what the hell supporter, and it's nothing against Jeremy or George. I agree with them holding John and Lynette accountable for the harassment that John and Lynette have done and continue to do. But I'm not going to be a part of the community. I'm not. And I wish it had a different name. I really do. Because it makes hey, AVA. Hey, Smokin' Joe. Yeah, very few spoke up to say this was wrong. Absolutely, Smokin' Joe. And that's the problem. That's the problem, is you have, and I'm not even going to say good people remaining silent. No, if you know this is happening and you're not out there saying this is wrong, you're not a good person. You're not. Right, Deftones? Right? So, yeah, if it means I'm going to get hate, I'll take it. I will take it. But, hey, Stacy. But yeah, I'm not going to ignore it. I've addressed it with individuals. I've made posts on my Facebook. I've talked about on here a lot of the negative behavior. I can't remain silent. I refuse to remain silent. I will not go quiet into that good life. Actually, I quoted that wrong. I will not go quiet into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light. Hey, Dwayne. Yeah, we've seen we've seen bits and pieces, heroes, Chris. But you know, people. Well, that's just a one-off. That's just that person. But it's now to the point. There are too many instances. Too many instances to where you can't say, "Oh, yeah, that's just this." No, it is it is a prevailing thing. And yeah, if Jeremy and George, Megan, Tug, Shizzy, Just Jay, I'm trying to think who else. Green Flamingo, Valor View News. Like I'm even thinking like smaller creators now. Poop, Georgie. Like if any of these people are not speaking out against it, they're a part of the problem. Silence is consent. They're telling you without telling you they're okay with it. And I lived with that as an officer. As an officer, when I saw bad stuff, I could not ignore it. I could not ignore it. I had to act.
All 300 infantry, you made it.
I couldn't sit back. The Congress did not give me the luxury. I was given this special trust and confidence of the United States Congress to support and defend the Constitution and enforce all laws and regulations. That meant if I saw something, it wasn't see something, say something, it was see something, act. And I lived by that then, I live by that today. Right, Ginger? But while going after someone's children is disgusting, if you know it's happening and you're not speaking up, you're equally disgusting. Yep, JV grandma. Yep. You see this. Any institution can be corrupted. Any institution, especially if things are ignored and hidden. And that's why I always say sunshine is the greatest disinfectant. You bring your local government, if you start promoting more and more transparency, you'll see less corruption. You will. Exactly. AVA gets it. All the military people, they get it. Silence is compliance. Yes, it is. Yes, complacency kills. If you're not going to do anything about it, people are gonna get injured in one way or another. And when I'll put this on all these other content creators, at what point are you going to allow it to go to? Does someone have to get hurt? That's what the same reason I was against what John and Lynette were doing and Levy County ignoring it. Is it going to take someone to get hurt before we finally say enough? Just call balls and strikes. That's all you got to do. You don't even have to be huge about it. Just be like, hey, if I see anyone doing this, you're out. Well, it's things like hellhound. There's things out there. They've done studies on corruption. I would invite people to look at the Milgram experiment or the Stanford prison experiment. These were things as a Marine officer I had to look at because these were things that when you look at things like the My Lai massacre out of Vietnam, and then as a service we start asking, how do we prevent this? How do we prevent this from occurring? Hey, Nemesis. Right? And that's all you got to do. All you got to do. And then say, anyone who I see attacking a child or anyone else, I will never be associated with that person. I will kick them out of my groups. I will ban them from my chat. Yeah. And I get that some of you, it's hard to follow on a lot of this stuff. I get some of you don't know it. I'll show you what exactly was said. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. And I've posted this in some other places. I'm going to pull it up here. My computer's just running a little bit slow. This is a crime. This is a crime. But you have content creators who will ignore that this is even happening. And this is disgusting. And this is a what the hell supporter who was upset that Georgie was cordial to Fleesa. Why? Because they all want to get hyper-focused on everything the Flea's done. Why can you talk? Why can you talk about everything the Fleas talk about and say, oh, this is negative, but then when your own side says something horrible like that, oh, we can't talk about it. Fuck you. Fuck you. There's a reason I didn't want to get into the details yesterday. I knew I would get emotional. What do I always say, folks? Don't stream emotional. And I'm seeing patterns. And it's not just, oh, that's just a fan. No. No. So this was yesterday in Just Jace. We were in there. I was making light of the situation. You see here, I was in there. I sent him a super chat, as I normally do. When I go in a stream, when I go in most people's stream, I send them a super chat. Because if I'm supporting somebody, I want to support them. I want to get other people to support them. So I see the Flea's biggest fan, Georgie Unfiltered, made it here. Having fun at Georgie's expense. Georgie, shut up, stupid. But where was it here? I have my favorites had said to me, no drama. And told Georgie, no drama. And Georgie said I would never do that. Oh, I'll bring drama. I don't give a shit. That's not one of the rules. I read the chat rules. Like I'm not creating drama. I'm literally poking fun at my friend. And I put I told Georgie, you just violated my hippo, because they were talking about the hippo. And I'm just teasing my friend. Georgie, I didn't know you had a hippo. This is what me and Georgie do every day. Okay? Nothing wrong with this. And then I said, I think Georgie Unfiltered needs to be booted because she's an anti now. Again, having a laugh at Georgie, teasing Georgie. I have my favorite said, Skipper, please no drama. That's not drama. That's me and my friend teasing each other. And I said, I'm just having fun on Georgie. I have my favorite said, I've had enough. Okay? I said, look, I have my favorites. It's not about you. If you have a problem with that, you can boot me, but I will joke with my friend. And Seagirl said, I know you're kidding. She never would. So I'm having fun with people. Okay? Then we have Miyagi. Miyagi, who has done videos about me. Miyagi, who has been a part of all of this bullshit. You see what Miyagi has right there? Miyagi's a mod. Vet Nation, you have been asked to stop. And I pretty much said, I'm not stopping. Yeah. Then boot me. I don't care. Yeah. I had said that right up here. And this is a mod who then booted me. And I approached Jay about it. And Miyagi's been part of this bad behavior. Miyagi's in the Warriors group. They hyper focus. They all hyper focus on everything that the Fleas do wrong. And then this gets posted. This was what, an hour and a half later? This is why this shit gets posted. is because you have content creators and their mods okay with this. They don't want to say anything bad about this, but yet they'll talk about the fleas all day long. Everything is please, please, please. They did this. They said this. I don't care about the fleas. It's a distraction from the court cases. They're just talking. They're just talking. 90% of what they do is just talking. A long time ago, people were trying to get me to talk about the fleas, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. It's ridiculous. Right, ABA? No, Miyagi's one of Just Jay's mods. One of their mods behaving badly. They're okay with it. Perfectly okay with it. Just like how Big Dirt was threatening to post Georgie's nudes. Hoop's okay with it. And none of these other content creators are going to say, you need to fucking get that shit under wraps. Nope. Everybody don't. When I talk about this with other creators or with other supporters, everyone's like, no, you don't talk about it because then the fleas will use it. I don't give a shit what the fleas use. I hope, Lisa, you want to use this stream? Use the whole fucking stream. I don't care. I'm giving you permission to use this stream because I am going to fight against bad behavior where I see it. And it's too much of a pattern. Too much of a pattern. And I will tell you, in some of these cases, these content creators, it's not just a matter of them acting like they don't know their mods are doing. They're actively telling their mods to do this shit. Actively telling their mods to do it. And I'm not standing for it. I will always call out bad behavior where I can. I'm all about transparency. And every journalist should be. If you're not, then you're a bad journalist. You can't criticize Volpe if you're doing the exact same fucking thing. Yeah. And you're not the only one, Joan. You're not the only one. Me, Georgie, the Grangers. There's others too. Other very big name people said, yeah, I'm like, this has gotten way too negative. I'm not going to be a part of this. And again, exactly. There's a lot of mental illness on both sides. On both sides. And that we should not advocate or ignore bad behavior. We should, and you're seeing it. It is up to the mods are doing bad shit and doing this behavior. And if you're keeping him as a mod, you're part of the fucking problem. And if you're a content creator and someone that you work with, if they're allowing their mods to do it, you're part of the fucking problem. I'm sorry, not sorry. And the thing about it is, in this case, Georgie is an OG. I've got screenshots of Georgie back in June of 2023. That's when I first did anything about this. I created a Facebook group. It was, for the most part, it was me and DJ Radis. But there are a couple people who've been on this case since day one. Me, Georgie, DJ Radis, Max Lab. A lot of these other people just came onto it. Not saying that's a good or a bad thing. But for someone who has supported Jeremy Hale since day one, I literally have the screenshots of it. Like, she was doing shit to try to provoke Lynette into saying some of Lynette's crazy shit. And then to attack her because she went into someone's chat and was nice. to attack her daughter, you crossed a fucking line. And every content creator needs to step up and say that. So because of that, I'm sorry. If you're not saying that, you are a part of the. I hold you responsible. I'm looking at the time. I got to get going. But I've said everything I need to say on this. I'll probably talk about it again. Right, AVA? And everyone's like, Georgie's an anti. Well, guess what? I'm not a what the hell supporter. If that makes me an anti, makes me an anti. Georgie apologized to Lisa. I will apologize to Lisa. I'm sorry that they're attacking you because you went up against a domestic abuser. I'm sorry for that. I will never attack you for that. And everybody reporting about that is wrong. You are wrong. And I'm not going to be okay with it just because the ends support the means. No. Georgie, Stacy, what Georgie did, and there's screenshots posted. All she did was she went in there, she said hello, she was nice to people, and she did apologize to Lisa. And Lisa had apologized to her. She talked about that on her show yesterday. So yeah. So I'm going to get going because I have my day. I have to go about my day. But I am not putting up with any of this BS today. And I won't be putting up with it again. I will not be a part of any what the hell's communities. I'm now officially out. I might still talk about the court cases, but I'm sorry. I'm not working with any content creators who condone this or ignore this. And if you ignore this, you're just as bad as those doing it. You are not absolved. And if it's your mods doing it, it's as if you're doing it because they're in your inner circle. You've given them a level of trust publicly. So that's all I have, guys. I appreciate you guys all for being here. I don't care if you like this. I don't care if you share it out. I don't care. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care if you unsubscribe. I don't care if you never watch again. Don't care if I never get $1 from you. But I'm going to do what's right. At the end of the day, I have to be okay with who I see in my mirror. I hope you can live with who you see in yours. But I'll say this. God knows everybody's true intentions and true heart. And when it's time to be judged, are you okay with this? I'm not. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. As always, thank you. Truly, truly thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. And birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakening at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. High Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awaking at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, long just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awaking to lighten her load. America's awaking